Hello friends. Hello friends. I welcome you all to the class of English Compulsory second year. In the previous class we dealt with the perspective of the author Dalai Lama, and we also came across the central idea of the text, the quest for happiness, which is written by Dalai Lama. Dalai Lama is the 14th Dalai Lama. He was born in Tibet in 1959. He left Tibet and came to India and has been living in India since 1959. He is popularly known as spiritual leader, religious preacher, and Buddhist scholar to the world. His work for the establishment of peace has been recognized by the world as a token of his efforts. He was honored with Nobel Prize for Peace in 1989. The present essay, The Quest for Happiness, deals with the elements from where happiness can be derived. In the essay, The Quest for Happiness, the Dalai Lama has explored the real source of happiness. He removes general assumptions of happiness from his self-experience. The Dalai Lama keenly observes that hope, which implies the thought of something better or the idea of future happiness, enables a human being to survive and therefore has survival value. He states that human beings always pursue happiness and try to avoid suffering. With this assumption, he identifies the general sources of happiness considered by people, such as wealth, health, and friendship. Very clearly, he declares that he is talking of simple joy or happiness in the everyday sense and not religious ultimate happiness. He makes a distinction between human happiness and the happiness of an animal that is restricted to the satisfaction of sensory appetite. In this essay, The Quest for Happiness, Dalai Lama speaks about human happiness. He does not speak of the happiness among the animals. He feels that all human beings are in search of happiness. They struggle for happiness and they try to achieve ultimate happiness. But it is not so in the case of animals. They run after appetite. When they are fed, they get happiness. they do not have any more limit of happiness beyond the fulfillment of their appetite. While commenting on wealth, human beings think that there are certain sources of happiness, and by possessing those sources, one can get happiness. Common people think that if they have wealth, if they have health and friendship, they will have happiness. According to common people, wealth, health, and friendship are the sources from where happiness can be derived. While commenting on wealth as one of the three assumed sources of happiness, the Dalai Lama accepts that with human beings, material factors affect happiness. He justifies this by stating that even a hermit living alone in a mountain cave, he needs food and clothing, and so also a common man requires money to live a dignified human life. Further, he states that money makes people happy and they can fulfill their wishes with the help of money. It also provides choices and freedom to human beings. The Dalai Lama says that people are so preoccupied with money that even reciting a mantra associated with Buddha compassion, Om Mani Padmeham, they mumbled hurriedly, uttering the word money and making it sound like the English word money. He agrees that wealth confers a kind of security and satisfaction, perhaps, but questions as to how secure material wealth can ever be. He explains that wealth and prosperity are required to fulfill one's fundamental needs, which are prerequisites of human happiness. With the help of wealth, one can obtain all luxurious to raise one's level of comfort and convenience. But availability of these material factors cannot give guarantee of everlasting satisfaction. On the contrary, this materialism may lead toward greater anxiety, stress and worry, which turn into anger and even resentment. Recent research in psychology and social sciences has suggested that material acquisitions only brings mental flourishing. Both disciplines have found that both disciplines mean psychology and social sciences. Both these disciplines have found that excitement of a new purchase remains only for a while. To explain this, Dalai Lama takes support of a Tibetan expression Asara Tasapo, meaning very new. That is, one who always pursue the latest material things. The condition of today's consumer who is characterized by a kind of fickleness. The Dalai Lama points out that of all kinds of conflicts from the local level to the international lie in resources and material values. He shares his own experience about rich billionaires who are tired of their material possessions and become dissatisfied and unhappy as the possessions bring loneliness instead of happiness or satisfaction. He uses the Tibetan term Kunga Dhondup. Kunga Dhondup is the nickname of money in Tibet, which the Tibetans, he says, are devoted to, but unfortunately it brings a lot of sufferings in their lives. Instead of material wealth, the Dalai Lama advocates mental wealth based on love and compassion that pursue happiness, that brings pure happiness. He points out that material security and satisfaction given by wealth is easily exposed at the time of natural disasters. He preaches that one's inner or mental state is the only responsible factor for happiness of both rich and poor. A poor family with affection, kindness and trust between them will be happy, but a rich family will not if suspicious or resentment fills their mind. A poor family with affection, kindness and trust between them will be happy, but a rich family will not be happy if suspicion or resentment fills their mind. Finally, the Dalai Lama emphasizes here that the mental level of a human being is the ultimate key to happiness. He points out to recent social and scientific research which proves that the mental benefit of wealth are temporary. The general level of satisfaction in a society is higher in the absence of the rich and poor divide regarding the distribution of wealth. This suggests that one's well-being depends on several situational factors that have an effect on one's views, attitude and relationship to wealth. The second source of human happiness observed by Dalai Lama is health. He admits to the importance of physical health and suggests precautions that should be taken with regard to eating, sleeping, exercising and need to consult a qualified doctor in case of illness. But he rejects the view that health should be considered as an entirely responsible source of happiness. He rejects equating good physical health with happiness. He gives the example that a person with strong body may not be happy. On the contrary, a person with weak body can be happy. Finally, he comments that health is like wealth is not the ultimate source of happiness. Happiness is related to the state of mind, outlook, motivation and our level of warm-heartedness toward other. The third source of happiness considered by the Dalai Lama is friendship. He views the importance of genuine friendship relation which is required for one's well-being and rejects superficial relationship deliberately developed for money, social credit and appearance which continues till it is present with the person. The Dalai Lama puts a question mark on such superficial relationship and points out to the danger in seeking happiness with such friends who disappear in times of need. He states that genuine friendship is based on trust and affection which arises through one's own attitude of concern and respect toward others. He gives the account of meeting a Christian monk on his visit to Spain many years ago. The monk had spent 5 years living as a hermit behind his monastery, meditating on love. Dalai Lama noticed that the depth of feeling in the monk's eyes was revealed more through his eyes than his words. This example reveals warm-heartedness which connects one to others although one is alone. According to the Dalai Lama, an inner affection, concern and warm-heartedness toward others is only alternative to human isolation. Briefly, in this excerpt, the Dalai Lama looks at the sources of happiness valued by human beings: wealth, health, and friendship. But he concludes that these sources, wealth, health, and friendship, to human being these sources of happiness followed incorrectly are unable to provide eternal happiness to human beings. He exposes her the futility and hollowness of these sources and shows that the inner state of mind is the master key of human happiness. His teachings in this essay on happiness are very relevant to today's world. In a nutshell, we can say according to H.S. Dalai Lama, the resources which are considered to be the confident resources which can derive happiness are not sufficient to bring happiness in the life of human beings. He says that the inner state of mind is the master key of human happiness. So, dear students, this is how we have come across outline summary of the essay The Quest for Happiness. In the following class, we shall deal with textual explanation of the essay. With this I would like to stop here. Thank you very much.